Okay, good morning everyone. So, been a while since I've done one of these, but as you can probably imagine, my week has got pretty busy. So, we're currently unbelievably so, not this weekend coming, but next week is going to be Yourplaymat. Wow, time really flies. Seems like it was nearly a year ago that we were at Liverpool Docks. So, anyway, enough about that. I'll talk about that later on this next week. But the big news for this week is that it's the official release for Battles of Legend Glorious Gallery. So, for me, I'm actually quite excited about this set because there's two moments in history for me in regards to Yugioh. Point number one was the first time watching the anime, and with my brother, my younger brother, and then going down to a local card shop, and I remember exactly where the card shop was. I remember who it was because it was someone that I used to the owner was the one that got me into. We used to go and play Pokemon League back in the day and collect the Pokemon badges, which was sick. And then obviously just naturally evolved. Anyway, so that became the moment where I remember seeing them, the Yugi and the Kaiba original structure decks on the counter. I was like, oh, is Exodia in here? I want Exodia, that's what I saw. And they're like, no, Exodia's in Legend of Blue Eyes, or it's in a booster set, it's not in the structure deck. So I got Yugi, my brother got Kaiba. Standard. I'm pretty sure anyone else that grew up the same era that I did, I know I'm old, would have made the same decision, or usually did make the same decision. Very rarely did they have the same as their younger sibling or older sibling. Anyway, so that was point number one. Point number two, there's relation to Battles of Legend, don't worry. Anyway, point number two, and again, I remember this vividly, okay? So back then in 2002, I was trying to use my brain now, 10, I think. Yeah, 10. Crazy, isn't it? I didn't have a beard back then. Anyway, I was 10, so fast forward, Duelist Alliance. Now, I think it was Duelist Alliance and I want to say Photon Shockwave, but I could be completely wrong on the second pack because the second pack, even though I pulled better from it, it doesn't stick with me as well as Duelist Alliance does. So I was in Toys R Us. I remember this again, rolling back the years. Picked up two packs. One was the green pack, Duelist Alliance, or Duelist Advance, sorry, back in the day. And the other one, I believe, was purple, which is why I want to say it's Photon Shockwave. But anyway, opened up the Photon Shockwave and I got an Evil Slaw Ultimate Rare. And I was like, what is this rarity? This is weird. This is not... I don't even think I pulled a Pendulum. Because obviously that was when Pendulums were first released. So keeping in mind that I had taken a break from the game. So I never knew what Xyz were. I didn't know... Well, I knew what Xyz were because I started watching Zexal. So that's how I was like, oh, I'll go buy some Yu-Gi-Oh packs. So anyway, Duelist Advance, opened up the pack, pulled a Tellarknights Deneb. I was like, oh, what does this do? Oh, searches out a Tellarknights card. I'm like, or it's Tellarknights monster. I was like, what the hell? Why does this search specifically a Tellarknights? Given in mind I hadn't played the game for ages, the last time I played the game was original sets that didn't search out particular archetypes. It wasn't like, hey, search this particular archetype. It was like Sangan, search a monster with specific attack or defense stats. Anyway, that then started the snowball of what is today Yu-Gi-Oh for me, because I learnt fast that Deneb was an expensive card. I learnt that Tellarknights Alpha was an expensive, well, I say expensive card, back then, they were 15, £20 a card. And I'm like, I chuckle to myself now because it's kind of like the average on some of the cards you need nowadays. This was also back in the day where it wasn't 2 secrets a box. I can't remember how ultra rares it was either, but because that all got introduced in Brace of Shadow when they upgraded it to, I think it wasn't 8 secrets, it used to be 8 secrets a set, then it got upgraded to 10 secrets a set and 2 secrets per box. So anyway, little history lesson after 5.5 minutes. But the idea is, in Battles of Legend Glorious Monster or Glorious Gallery is brand new Tellarknight support. Now, it's technically not, it's weird because it's technically not direct Teller support. They've started to bridge, or they did a while back, bridge Tellers with Constellars, which is a no-brainer. But during the Duelist Advanced format, or Duelist Alliance, sorry, Constellars were one thing that manipulated levels. They would make rank 3s, rank 4s, rank 5s, and then 6s and so on. And Tellers were just rank 4. Now, Tellers actually won Worlds. I think they won Worlds back in 2014 when reinforcement of the army was back at 3. And this was during Shaddolls and Burning Abyss format as well, which is a really fun format. I quite enjoy that one. Anyway, yeah, it kind of seems odd now that I think about it even more. The Glorious Gallery, it has Shaddolls support in it. It has Teller support in it. And then it has Dragoonity support in it. And it's like, hang on a minute. That feels like that should probably be Burning Abyss support. And that's something I've been thinking about lately. I was like, damn, I would love some Burning Abyss support. But then I think about it. Tellers is the only deck of those 3. Keeping in mind as well that Odd Eyes, Pendulum, and I think it's like the first wave of Performer Pals came out at the exact same time. So, and which we get Odd Eyes support in the Legendary Modern decks, which I believe is end of June, I want to say. Anyway, I digress. So, Battle of Legend, Glorious Gallery, Tellarknight support / Constellar support, Shaddolls support, nice. Dragoonity support, nice. Technically, Synchron support. There's one Dark Lord card in there. There is one Red Dragon Archfiend card in there. I've pre-ordered all my stuff. I got the notification the other day saying that it was ready to be dispatched for. So today is the OTS release day. So if you go to your OTS locals, you can pick up boxes and packs and trades and everything. Then and there. So I've been testing Tellers. They still have the exact same. Like, there's a lot of cards in Tellers that you're like, bruh, why have you got to be so convoluted? So there's cards that say search or summon or whatever, a Teller monster. And you're like, yes! Because Constellars and Tellers and Tellarknights all include Teller. So it gives you everything. But then for some ungodly reason, there's cards that say search a Tellarknight spell. And you look through and you're like, great, we play one Tellarknight spell, but we play Tellarknight Nova Alpha, and the brand new one, which is, can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a spell card that's Teller Nova. It's like, it's Teller Nova, there's no Knight. So it's like, you can't search them. Like, that's the one thing that Tellers have always had the issue with, is that they couldn't search their own counter trap. And in my opinion, back in the day, Teller Nova Alpha was insane. It was like when your opponent activated a spell, trap, or monster effect, you sent a face-up Tellarknight monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, destroy it, and draw a card. So back then, that was pretty busted, because I'm pretty sure Solemn Warning was at 1, Judgment was banned, trying to feel, Scolding didn't exist at that moment in time. Strike didn't exist, and of course Solemn Accusation didn't exist. So it was like, yo, you got your own this counter trap, and back in a format where it was a little bit slower, like Burn the Abyss did have crazy combo plays and could OTK very easily, but it was a lot slower. So I don't know, I kind of feel like, I don't know if it will make the deck too broken, but I kind of want a Link monster that says, you know, search out a Stellar or search out a Tellar card. Would be insane. I doubt we're going to get that though, because if we were going to get that, we would have got it by now. So anyway, you can get a core of Tellers for like 60 quid. I'm sure I've talked about Tellers more than anything, but you can kind of see how like close to me they are. Like if I'd pulled a Winder or if I pulled a Shaddolls card, my journey could have been a little bit different. Which ironically, I did buy a box. I went to, so my first ever Comic-Con, again, another story time, I went and picked up a Duelist Alliance box, because at this point it's like really hard to find. And unbeknownst to me, there was a YCS going on at the exact same time. So I opened up my box. In my box I pulled a Winder, can't remember what the secret was. Winder's like the only one that sticks with me. And I went and traded the Winder away to get a Daenerys Benesta Tellarknight Alpha. So yeah, there you go, little bits of story on that one. Now, the Shaddolls cards I really do like. I haven't had a chance to properly involve them yet, but the Shaddolls, there's two Shaddolls spell cards, a Shaddolls monster and two Shaddolls fusion monsters, I believe. And one of the new spells, one of them's like a fusion, quick play fusion spell. The other one's like an Infernoid card. But it's crazy, because it's like, and this is me just trying to paragraph them off the top of my head, but I don't think it's a Shaddolls card, so it's not like technically searchable as a Shaddolls spell. But I think I picked them up at like £5 a piece. And I'm pretty sure it's something like add 2 Shaddolls cards or 2 Shaddolls monsters from the deck to the hand and then discard one. So you discard it via effect, which triggers off Shaddolls cards. And I was like, yo, we can probably play like nearly pure Shaddolls now, rather than having to, you'll still hybrid it with Invoked, still the best way to do it. And you'd still arguably play it with Nadir, still the best way to do it. But yeah, the deck's now looking, it's again, not going to be highly competitive. And I think the biggest shame is that Dolls missed their newest competitive chance, because we got the Shaddolls structure deck, or the Shaddolls structure deck. I think we got it just before COVID. I think it's either just before or just after. And basically it came out, everyone played it. Invoke Shaddolls was bloody everywhere, and then it got power crept by. Now I can't remember if it was before COVID. It got power, like obviously COVID stopped it being recognised all over the place, but then it also got power crept by Eldritch and Adamantipator. If it was after, I think it just generally got power crept. So yeah, the steals of the set. So at the start, when pre-orders did go up, you could get Regulus of Endymion for £2.50. Now, currently, I think the pre-orders are like £6 on a Regulus, and if you are a Fairy Tale player or a Magistus player, I highly advise you get them. £6 a piece is still decent, and I just have this feeling, because we're currently missing one card for that engine, that one card wasn't in the Battles of Legends set, but I highly expect that it will either be imported in Chaos Origins, like Spencer was down the line, or we'll get it in a set of some sort. But when that happens, with the Battles of Legend cards that are exclusive to Battles of Legend, very rarely do they get an early reprint. So using Crowley Magisters as the prime example, that still hasn't had a reprint. It's still about £20 to £25 a copy. And the idea is that you, like, getting the regulars at £6 is going to be worth it. If you got them at £2.50, it was like a giant steal, because it has the potential to go up to a £15 to £20 card, especially when we get Veer. And once the Battles of Legend comes out today, and then officially everywhere tomorrow, and then I think in America Friday. I don't know why America get them on Fridays, but hey ho. It will, more people will start to kind of collate towards the Regulus. So to me, £2.50 was obviously the sellout spot. The online pre-order sold out of that. £5 is kind of like the new sweet spot. You probably go, okay, get the entire Dimian core, which at this moment in time is 3 Regulus, 3 continuous spell, both of those being secret rares. I think the core also includes Light Elf. I don't know. Can't remember off the top of my head. Then there's I think it's Genin or Gina. And then there's the quick play spell card, which you only really need 1 of. But regardless, you get the entire core for like 30 quid. I think it's kind of worth it. So yeah. Another card that's also gone up in price. So pre-order started off at £4 with Junkmeister, and then that's now gone up to like £12 a copy. So you can kind of see that with the first wave of pre-orders, it's always hit and miss, because with the first wave of pre-orders, they're either going to be overpriced or they're going to be underpriced. So what I mean by that is, when a first batch of cards goes out at £2.50 and they sell out, and then they get relisted, or they sell out on that day, and then they get relisted the next day at double the price. It's like £5, £6, £7 a card, right? And they're still there a good few days later. That kind of shows the market tap out. Now obviously it's not going to be everyone, but what it does show you is that if a card sells out in 24 hours, or like less than 24 hours, at a certain price, you could probably say to yourself as a seller, you underprice that. Now obviously you're not going to go out and put out 50 copies at £2.50. You're probably going to go, okay, let's test the waters. We'll put 10 copies out at £2.50. Oh wow, they sold out in like 6 to 12 hours. Okay, let's put them out at £5 a copy. Let's put 10 more out at £5 a copy. Oh, they didn't sell out. Right, okay, so £5 seems to be the comfort mark of that particular card. So, and obviously these are all estimates. These are all like, okay, cool, we're going to see at least 1 Regulus a box or whatever. So, kind of these little points, and ultimately, the way the single game comes down to is it comes down to the value of the card to you personally versus the value in the market. And what I mean by that is, if a card gets put up for sale and it's the same price or lower than what you personally value it at, you'll buy it. So for me, when the Tellarknight cards went up at £10 a secret rare, to me, I was like, right, okay, well, I need 3 of each secret rare, that's £90, plus the XZs and everything else. Oh, okay, do I value all of the new Tellarknight cards at £100? And I was like, probably not, because to me, I could see that like Tellarknights aren't going to be meta. They're not going to be, like, if anything, they'll be a really good Genesis deck. But they kind of, to me, they still hold some value. So then, when I checked a couple of days later, was like, I'll take the risk. If people sell them out at £10 a copy, then clearly I was wrong. Then a couple of days later, the cards went down to £8 a piece. And at £8 a piece, I know it's only like £2 per card, but that's £2 times 9 is nearly 20 quid difference. So at that point I was like, okay, do I value the court at £60? I was like, yeah, I probably do, to be honest. So to me, £60 was a sweet investment. It's the same with Junkmeister. So I'm like, oh, Junkmeister is at £4. To me, that's a good investment. Or a good purchase, because obviously I'll play it in Synchrons, which I love as one of my decks anyway. Yeah, so you get all of these. There is a term for it. I just can't remember what the term is. It's something like, I want to say it's something about depreciating returns, and ultimately it's an economical term of the value of an item and how much you're willing to pay for it. That is basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Some people will value cards higher than you will, and they'll pay it. Some people will value cards lower, so they won't pay it. No, it's the same as trading. It's the same with kind of everything in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Way. Not just Yu-Gi-Oh!, like every trading card game. There'll be people that are like, There'll be people that will try and rip you off. That's not a new thing either. But there are people that will value cards higher or lower at every kind of stage. Anyway, I'm now at my station. I will probably put this out. Well, it depends. If I get enough time to edit the video that I have ready to go, I'll get that done. If not, then I'll put this out. And if I do have time to do the edit of the video, I'll put this out tomorrow. If my Tellarknight cards haven't turned up, which I don't think they will, but you never know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Have a very good day. Probably the time this video comes out, it's the end of the UK day, or towards the end of the UK day. So have a good evening, have a good day, and I guess I'll catch you all on the next one. Stay safe, and as always, happy dueling.